Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode on the channel. Today we've got a very interesting video. Last video we done a tier list. We were rating every single Arsenal player's season on, a tier list. Today we've got something a little bit different, something a little bit more exciting, you could say. We are going to be rating Arsenal's most expensive transfers in our entire history. Bro, when I tell you, when we take a look at this list, the amount of players that are on this list, the amount of amazing signings, terrible signings, legendary signings that we've made over the past few years, we are going to be ranking them on a tier list from legend, world class, very good, decent, forgotten, and absolutely horror. Well, there's been quite a lot of them, so we are going to be going through that. But before we get into that, make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. We're so close, only 800 away as far as I'm concerned. So if we can get that as soon as possible, it does mean a lot. If you can comment your thoughts on this video, what you think, if you want to see more of these videos, let me know in the comments. And let's try and go for, you know what? 160 likes. If you can get that, that would be unbelievable. It helps me out so much. It supports your boy. Let's just get straight into it, and we are starting off with probably our greatest ever signing, one of the greatest signings of all time. Arsenal went and signed Thierry Henry from Juventus for a record-breaking, at the time, £11 million. Thierry Henry got straight legend. You know what? For me, he has his own tier as the greatest Premier League player of all time. Not a lot of people can have that title. He's the greatest, not Arsenal player, Premier League player of all time. Should have won a Ballon d'Or, won so many golden boots, scored so many goals. Yeah, so iconic. The most iconic player to ever play in the Premier League. Thierry Henry inspired an entire generation, and that generation, and that generation. We still see players today who weren't even born when Thierry Henry was playing say, yeah, Thierry Henry's my idol. That's how much impact he's had. And oh my god, I think he changed the course of Arsenal. I think we need to use Henry's aura, Henry's, juice a little bit more when it comes to signing players, bro. Kylian Mbappe should be at my club, bro, because he is literally the definition of a Thierry Henry region. But my oh my, what a signing. That's probably the greatest signing we've ever made, and we probably ever will in the club's entire history. And moving swiftly on to Mesut Ozil. Oh my god, were you there in 2013 on deadline day where everyone was just going crazy? We signed one of the best playmakers, the best number 10s in the world from Real Madrid for a record-breaking Arsenal fee for £43 million. That was probably the most iconic deadline day in Arsenal history, arguably up there in some of the most iconic signings in footballing history. Mesut Ozil, one of the biggest players in the world during Arsenal's, could argue we weren't winning a lot of trophies, and we just grabbed one of the best number 10s in the world in Mesut Ozil. But unfortunately, I don't think he was a legend. He didn't win any Premier Leagues, any Champions Leagues. I'm bored. He's a world-class player, but as a signing, I am leaning towards very good. I'm going to leave him world-class for now because Mesut Ozil, one of my favourite players, if not probably my favourite ever Arsenal player alongside Santi Cazorla. But oh my god, that man, he left his mark on Arsenal. Special player, provided special moments, won a few FA Cups. We just should have signed him an elite striker. If we had Aubameyang when we had prime Özil, I think things would have changed. I think Arsenal would have won that trophy in 2016 if it wasn't for flipping goddamn Giroud. Mesut Ozil would have had a Premier League and we would have looked at him as a legend. But I am going to leave Mesut Ozil in the world-class category. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you think he's a legend. Let me know if you think he's below that. Moving on to Alexander Lacazette. We signed him for, I think he was around £52 million from Lyon. This guy was bagging goals left, right and centre in the French league. But then you could also say French league tax. But his first season for Arsenal, I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. And then he followed it up with another unbelievable season. Him and Aubameyang just causing terror. Not only in the Europa League, but the Premier League, just scoring goals left, right and centre. I think both of them were just scoring all our goals. They were carrying this Arsenal side. I'm going to put... you know what? Alexander Lacazette can argue world class, but I'm going to put him very good for now, but very top of very good, borderline world class, because there were seasons where Alexander Lacazette was genuinely unplayable when it comes to playmaking, when it comes to goal scoring. He was better than Aubameyang in that certain season. I think it was 18-19 where he was just out, unplayable. Everything he did just turned to gold, and then he buzzed off all his hair and kind of fell off, if I'm being honest with you. Lacazette with a hairline was actually a really good player for Arsenal. Now, moving on to another striker. You know what? We're on our third striker of the list, and this is Gabriel Jesus. And when he first joined Arsenal, this guy was a revelation. This guy was playing football out of his mind. One of the greatest strikers I've ever seen play for the club. In that first half of the first season he joined, in the 22-23 season, making Arsenal title challenge, making us that huge jump. Yeah, the reason why Arsenal title challenging today is because of Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko. Those signings just took us to that next level. And Gabriel Jesus, on his day, was absolutely unplayable. Everything he did, scored the goals, the playmaking, the link up, the dropping deep, the jinking the guys, the hold up play, everything he did was just out of this world. But unfortunately, injuries got to him. He became inconsistent, wasn't really clinical. I'm going to put him very good because of the impact he made at Arsenal and because I love Gabriel Jesus and I still think he can still make some impact at Arsenal. I believe. Wait till he comes back from his injury. But I think Gabriel Jesus, what an unbelievable player. What an unbelievable signing. Now, moving on to probably a signing that we were unsuccessful with this one. Sambi Lokonga. Damn. He can't even go decent. What a failure of a signing. I remember Vincent Kompany, I think, recommended him to join Arsenal, recommended Arsenal to sign him, saying that he's the next Yaya Toure. Yeah, this is horror, bro. I can't. There's no justifying that, if I'm being honest with you. Terrible signing. I can't even remember how many times he's played for my club. I can't even remember a game he's played for my club. It just hasn't worked out. Hopefully he can, revive his career a little bit. But yeah, he still plays for Arsenal, by the way, which is actually a surprising fact. Moving on to Takehiro Tomiyasu. If it wasn't for injuries, he might be the ultimate Swiss Army knife of a player. Can play left back, can play right back, can play right centre back, can play left centre back. He can invert, he can overlap, he can, do tiki taka, he can drive with the ball, he can cross it, he can pass it. What can't this guy do except stay fit? Tomiyasu, if he could stay fit, oh my god, he'd be such an integral player in this team. But injuries absolutely killed my boy, man. I'm going to put him decent because of the injuries. If it wasn't for the injuries, honestly, very good signing. We only signed him for, I think it was £17 million from Bologna. Unbelievable signing. If he could have just stayed fit, man. But Tomiyasu, brilliant footballer, man. You won't be missed. And I think, we have Santi Cazorla. Oh my god. My favourite ever Arsenal player. When I try to play football, I try to play like Santi Cazorla. Left foot, right foot, the close quarter dribbling. You have 4 men around him and he will just ease his way out of all of them. Unbelievable footballer. Such a joy to watch. Santi Cazorla, he was a world-class player. But I'm going to put him top of very good. Lacazette, I think Lacazette offered us more in terms of availability because Santi Cazorla suffered that same problem where he suffered so many injuries. That first season at Arsenal, I believe, he actually had outrageous numbers. Santi Cazorla was dropping crazy numbers. I think it was like 19 goals and 12 assists, something like that. Double digits on goals and assists for Arsenal in his first season. I thought he was unbelievable for us. I think we signed him for around £19 million, if I'm correct. We could check here. Is Santi Cazorla? Can we find Santi Cazorla? Actually, you know what? I actually want to know the exact figure. We're going to be taking a look at all these transfers, by the way. But I'm trying to find Santi Cazorla. He should be somewhere. Yeah, exactly 19 million, guys. Don't question me, but that is in euros. We signed him from Malaga at the age of 27 in his prime years. Honestly, Santi Cazorla, he could have been special if he could just stay fit. We have a problem when it comes to having players and availability and staying fit. But Santi Cazorla, I'm going to leave him very good. One of my favourite players ever, if I'm being honest with you. I will never forget that FA Cup final where he scored that unbelievable free kick that left me off my seat. Unbelievable footballer. Now, Jakub Kiwior, we signed him for around £25 million from Spezia. Good centre back, done well for us. Stepped in when Gabriel got injured, when Saliba got injured. I think it was a decent signing, man. We made some money back off of him. He's gone to Porto. I think he was a good player. Had some Bozo moments. Had some really good moments. That game against Real Madrid, he was unbelievable. One of the most iconic games in recent Arsenal history. Decent signing, if I'm being honest with you. Antonio Reyes. Before my time, if I'm being honest with you, I mean, he joined in 2005, I was born in 2004, but I've heard really good things about Reyes, but the only issue was that I think he was homesick from, I think it was Sevilla he joined Arsenal from. I think we signed him for around £17 million. He was a really exciting player from what I remember. I mean, I don't remember anything from what I've heard, but yeah, it just didn't work out. Consistency, homesickness. I'm going to put him in very decent, but I might put him here in very decent. I thought, from what I've heard, very fun player. Rest in peace as well. No one will forget about you, Reyes, man. Moving on to Lucas Perez. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I did not forget about him, but I am going to put him in the forgotten category because I don't understand why we signed him. We signed him and then we signed him as a striker and then we just played him out wide and we never really gave him any game time. I remember Lucas Perez scored like, I think back-to-back hat-tricks and I thought, whoa, we signed a serious player. We signed him from Deposito for around £17 million, I want to say. Is he up here? Can I check? But yeah, bro, Perez, I thought he was a really good player. I can't find him here. But I think, yeah, Lucas Perez was a really good player. He just didn't give him game time. I don't understand why Arsene Wenger signed him if he didn't give him game time. He had a really good season at Deposito before he joined, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. Moving on to Danny Welbeck. Honestly, I'm going to put Danny Welbeck in decent because he never had a season at Arsenal where he scored over 10 goals, which is a slight issue considering you are my striker. But I thought Danny Welbeck, if it wasn't for the injuries, he was actually a good player, man. I had good memories of Danny Welbeck. It was when I was during secondary school, seeing Danny Welbeck, scored that iconic goal against Leicester, or scored a few goals against Manchester United, which was really enjoyable to watch. I thought Danny Welbeck was a decent player for us, Am I going to put him top of decent? I don't think he was more valuable than Tomiyasu. I'm going to put him here. I thought Danny Welbeck was a good player. He just kept getting injured again. Another one who just suffered so many injuries. Callum Chambers, I don't really know why he's on this list. I think we signed him for around £15 million. Forgotten. I don't think he was that bad. I thought he was actually a decent player, if I'm being honest with you. I actually really like Callum Chambers. It just never worked out. He never had the game time. He never had the consistency. He never really hit those levels I thought he was going to hit. Moving on to Jurrien Timber. Honestly, world class. He is the best right back. Honestly, when he retires, when he leaves Arsenal, if he does win some trophies along with it, he will be regarded as our greatest ever right back. This guy, on the ball, unbelievable. Defensively, world class. Yeah, come up against some of the best wingers in the world, just locks them up. Going forward, linking up, the way he dribbles with the ball, he dribbles like he's a number 8. Unbelievable footballer, and I can't wait to see what he does. You know what? I look forward to watching Arsenal every week because of Jurrien Timber, and I'm not joking. He's an unbelievable footballer, and I can't wait to see what he can do for us. I'm putting Jurrien Timber world class because I do believe he will win some really big trophies with Arsenal. And when that does happen, he'll be regarded as our greatest ever right back. Mark my words. Now, moving on to Bernd Leno. Honestly, this guy, I'm actually going to put him very good. There was a season where him and Aubameyang were our saviours. Aubameyang was scoring all the goals and Bernd Leno was stopping everything. And everything in between that, the midfield, the defence, the wingers, horror. These two are bailing us out week in, week out. The reason why Bernd Leno at Arsenal didn't necessarily work out was because he's not really an Arteta goalkeeper. Arteta likes his goalkeeper, being good on his feet. Bernd Leno wasn't that. He was a traditional shot-stopping goalkeeper. And may I say he was a very good shot-stopping goalkeeper. And he's having a really good few seasons at Fulham right now. He's probably one of their best players. One of the best keepers in the league, in my opinion, with you. So I'm going to put Bernd Leno very good. I think he's a very good player for us. And I'm actually very happy with Bernd Leno, man. I actually have good memories of him. Now, moving on to Gabriel Magalhaes. Wow. We struck gold with Gabriel Magalhaes. How much do we sign him for again? We signed Gabriel Magalhaes for 26 million. Are you insane? Gabriel Magalhaes is top 3 centre-backs in the world. He could be the second best centre-back in the world. He will go on to potentially be the best centre-back in the world if Van Dijk does retire. What a signing. Not only is he a beast in defence, he's one of the best goal-scoring centre-backs in the world. Right, Gabriel, how many times has he bailed us out with his aerial ability, just winning headers? Arsenal have scored the most goals from corners for a reason. Arsenal win so many of our games because of corners, because of Declan Rice's ability to cross the ball and Bukayo Saka's, and Gabriel's ability to just dominate that box. And not just that, defensively outrageous. Honestly, his partnership with William Saliba, them two can go down as one of the greatest defensive partnerships of all time. That's how good they are. And for £26 million, it's outrageous. He did start off a bit shaky in terms of, he was good for us, but he had Bozo moments. But he's completely removed that from his game. He's refined himself as a really good centre-half. And for 26 million, oh my God, I'm going to put Gabriel Magalhaes as a legend. I genuinely think he is top 3 greatest Arsenal centre-backs of all time. And the stats speak for themselves, the goals speak for themselves, the impact speaks for itself. And once he starts adding trophies to that, he's going to be an Arsenal legend. I mark my words, man. Moving on, oh my God, Tierney. Oh my God, Kieran Tierney. I absolutely love this guy, especially in that season, the 2020 season, the 2021 season. Bro, this guy, I love Tierney so much, man. He could have been world class, but he's not really an Arteta left back. He can't really invert. He's more of a traditional bomb up and down the left hand flank, put the crosses in the box, defend his side. Honestly, if he was born in a different era, Kieran Tierney would have been one of the greatest left backs of all time. I'm going to put Kieran Tierney very good because honestly, we signed him for what, £25 million from Celtic. Unbelievable footballers, gave me some brilliant moments. Was a very good captain material player. I'm really pleased with Kieran Tierney, and you know, it was sad to see the way it went because he suffered from a lot of injuries. But I love Kieran Tierney, man. I can't lie to you. There's nothing that can change my mind on that. Moving on to Declan Rice. Oh my God, this guy. He's the only £100 million signing I think no one talks about. No one talks about his price tag because of how good he is. Those iconic moments in the Bernabeu, the performance he's been putting in for the past few years, he's taken us to that next level. He's one of the best midfielders in the world, one of the most unique profiles of all time. Yeah, he's developed his game into becoming from a CDM, an anchoring CDM, to a box-to-box all-action midfielder. Honestly, when he retires, he's going to be a legend. He's going to be a legend at this club. If not, he already is, right? Once he starts adding trophies to his cabinet, bro, he's easily an Arsenal legend. The impact he's made, the performance he's put in, the goals against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu, probably one of the most iconic goals of all time in Arsenal history. Goes there easily, man. Declan Rice, what a signing. Now, moving on to Aaron Ramsdale. We signed him for £32 million. A lot of people questioned it. A lot of people were like, what are we doing signing a keeper that just got relegated with Bournemouth for £30 million? Well, when he joined, he was actually really good. He was unbelievable. He dropped Bernd Leno, who's on this list. Unfortunately, it didn't end well. He got replaced. But when he was playing for us, Ramsdale was one of my favourite players. He was so different to Bernd Leno in the sense where he was actually good with the ball in his feet, his playmaking, and also his shot stopping was really good. But what let him down was his concentration. You can tell he would lose concentration. He also said it in an interview. I don't know why he would do that, but he said he struggles with concentration, and we could see it in his game. Sometimes he will have that Bozo moment that will cost us the game. I'm thinking about that game against Southampton when we drew, where he just gave the ball away, and then it just didn't work out. He just got replaced by David Raya. However, that first season when we were title challenging, I thought Aaron Ramsdale was unbelievable for Arsenal. I'm going to put him very good, man. I'm going to put him above Bernd Leno because Aaron Ramsdale got us title challenging. Honestly, it worked out, but then it didn't work out towards the end, and he got... what's he doing? Is he at Southampton now? No, he's at Newcastle now, isn't he? That's crazy. But yeah, moving on, Lucas Torreira, wow, what a player. When he first joined, we all thought he was Uruguayan N'Golo Kante, just a dual winner, just wins the ball. Honestly, he was such a tidy little player, if I'm being honest with you. At the base, playing with Granit Xhaka, I really liked Lucas Torreira, if I'm being honest with you. The game against Tottenham where he scored that goal, he scored an overhead kick, he was winning man of the matches left, right, and centre. We signed him for around £24 million from Sampdoria. I'm going to put him decent because injuries got to him. Lack of consistency. Honestly, it just didn't work out at the end. I think the injuries really got to him. What's he doing now? I think he's at Galatasaray right now, I think. I'm not too sure, but hope he's doing well. I really have fond memories of Lucas Torreira. Now, we're moving on to another potential legend at Arsenal. William Saliba. We signed him for around £28 million from Saint Etienne. And he's probably grown to be top 3 centre-backs in the world as well. I think him and Gabriel are up there with being the best centre-backs in the world. There's a reason why I said they have the greatest partnerships of all time. So he's going to go legend because I believe he will win trophies. The same with Gabriel, the same with Declan Rice. To go in that legendary category. And honestly, I think Julian Timber can find himself in that legendary category as well. If he does start winning trophies, honestly, man, these lot are just generational, man. Honestly, William Saliba has been one of the best centre-backs in the world for a few years now. Joined Arsenal for 27, went out on loan a few times, came back and just slotted straight in, locking up Mbappe at the Bernabeu, locking up so many elite number 9s, Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, so many others, and it's just the trophies. If we can start adding trophies to these guys' cabinets, they're going to be undisputed legends, but I'm only putting them in legendary category because I believe if we just win one Premier League, they are probably the best in the position the club has ever seen, and they have been so consistent for so many years now. Bro, it's coming, I'm telling you, boys. But William Saliba, what a player, what a signing. Moving on to David Raya. Oh my God. We signed him to replace Aaron Ramsdale. Everyone was thinking, what on earth is Arteta thinking? We signed him on a loan, and then And then option to buy, I think there's a mandatory option to buy for £32 million. David Raya is probably the best goalkeeper in the world right now. When it comes to his distribution of the ball, there isn't anyone that can chat to him right now, in my opinion. You could say it was Edison, you could say it's Allison. I don't think so. When it comes to playing the ball out, not just long balls, I'm talking about breaking lines. David Raya is on another level. When it comes to cross claiming, he's not the tallest of keepers, but he claims every single cross. I am so comfortable when a cross comes in because I know I have David Raya in goal. And not just that, the shot stopping, the saves he's produced over the years. Oh my God. The game against Tottenham, the save against Ollie Watkins, the saves against Atalanta, against Retegui when he made that double save. But there's so many moments where I remember David Raya is saving us from his shot stopping ability, starting so many attacks with his playmaking ability, giving so much calmness to this defense with his cross claiming, has no bozo moments, and was definitely an upgrade on Aaron Ramsdale. And Arteta's signing him just proved everyone wrong. David Raya, honestly, could become a legend, but I am going to put him world class because I don't think he's quite the caliber of the players up here. But honestly, when it comes to goalkeepers, he's world class, man. Moving on to Mikel Merino. Let me know if you guys agree so far with my tier list down below in the comments. And remember, make sure you drop a like. We're trying to get 150 likes if you are enjoying this video. But moving on to Mikel Merino. I honestly think the goal scoring form that he's on right now, he should just be a full-time striker for Arsenal. Bro, this guy is so crazy with Spain. Last season, when we had that injury crisis, when Kai Havertz got injured, when Gabriel Jesus got injured, we had no striking options. We relied upon Mikel Merino. When it came to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, we had Mikel Merino leading our line. When it came to the semi-finals of the Champions League, we had Mikel Merino. When it came to the Premier League title race, yes, we didn't put that much of a competition, but Mikel Merino was doing his job by scoring the goals. And this guy, wow. As a midfielder, I'm going to put decent. But as a goal scorer, I think it's a very good signing. Honestly, and I think Mikel Merino can still offer us so much more. If we do win a Premier League this season, if we do win a Champions League this season, I wouldn't be surprised if Mikel Merino was involved in so many of those goals. So I'm going to put him at very good, predicting that he's going to have an unbelievable season this season and come in clutch with a lot of goals. He already has with the game against Newcastle, with that header. Mikel Merino, very good signing, man. Moving on to Mkhitaryan. Now, this one was just a failure, man. I want to put forgotten, but I'm going to put horror. Because we exchanged him for Alexis Sanchez. And to be fair, Alexis Sanchez was horrible for Manchester United. But Mkhitaryan was just as bad for Arsenal. He had that really good debut game where he was linking up with Aubameyang. The Yo, come out here. All of that. That was fun. Yeah. But Mikel Merino, when it came to it, I called him Mikel Merino again. Mkhitaryan, when he came to it, wasn't really good. But I know he's had a very good few seasons with Inter Milan. Almost won a Champions League with them. So he's revived his career a little bit. But for Arsenal, I think it's a horror signing, man. Moving on to Fabio Vieira. This one's just another horror, man. I think he's a good player, but the Premier League just doesn't suit him. He doesn't match the physicality of the Premier League. But as a footballer, he's a very good player. Technically very good. Got a good shot on him. Really good playmaker. I think he's back at Porto. Just let him play in another league, man. Premier League is not for him. Now, moving on to Alexander Zinchenko. We signed him for around 30 odd million pounds from Manchester City. And similar to Gabriel Jesus, he changed Arsenal, man. The way he played that left-back position, he's the perfect Arsenal or Arteta left-back at that time. The way he was able to invert, he was so comfortable with the ball, he was so technically secure. He changed the way Arsenal played. In that first season specifically, he was unbelievable. But I am going to put him at the bottom of very good because he suffered one problem. He was an absolute bozo when it came to defending. When it came in the big games against Liverpool, he just crumbles against Mohamed Salah. Honestly, and he complained a lot, if I'm being honest with you. And Zinchenko quite annoyed me towards the end of his Arsenal career. But I'm going to put him very good because of the impact he made in that very first season of his. And he was a really good player. So I think it'd be an injustice if I put him decent, if I'm being honest with you. But he's very close to decent, if I say so myself. And now he's at Nottingham Forest. We loaned him out. Hasn't played last season. Completely phased out of this Arsenal team. So I'm going to put Zinchenko very decent. Now, Martin Ødegaard, signed him for around £30 million. We actually loaned him first from Real Madrid and then we signed him permanently and he changed Arsenal. He's Arsenal's captain. And I'm going to put Ødegaard, for now, I'm going to put him world class. Because this guy, in that first season where he got 15 goals and I think 8 assists, unbelievable, world class, one of the best number 10s, if not the best number 10 in the world at that time. Second season followed it up, was pretty good for Arsenal, really good. We failed to win the Premier League again, only by 2 points, but Ødegaard was really crucial in that, his captaincy isn't really him screaming at the players and demanding the players. It's more to do with his performances. He will perform really well, and the players take him as example. Last season was absolutely terrible. Last season, he was a shadow of his former self. Terrible. Terrible. It was so painful to watch the decline of my captain, Martin Ødegaard. But this season, I thought he actually started really well, right? Martin Ødegaard, we signed Eze, we signed so many players, and he's been suffering so many injuries. But when he came on against Newcastle, we changed the game. He won us that game. He got the assist. He was playmaking. He was running the game. That's what Ødegaard does best. I was like, whoa, I'm seeing my captain back. Played the game against Olympiacos the next week. Unbelievable. Man of the match. And then he got injured again. So I think the verdict is still out on Martin Ødegaard. I'm not going to put him legend yet. But if he can revive his form, if he can give me a world-class season when he does come back from injury, he can easily become an Arsenal legend, Arsenal captain, everything. Ødegaard can become an Arsenal legend, but I'm not going to put him in legendary yet until he can prove me wrong from last season that he is still here to make us win some trophies. Now, moving on to Shkodran Mustafi. This guy, oh my God, he was so bad. When he joined, we signed him for £20 million. When he joined us, he wasn't actually that bad. He was actually playing pretty decent. I thought, we got a decent, little player here, Mustafi. Did we sign him for £20 million or was it £30 million? I can't remember. I think Mustafi was £30 million. He's not here. Yeah. So Mustafi, we signed him for around £30 million. Actually, wait. Let me actually check. I'm actually curious. Shkodran Mustafi, 40 million. Oh my God. Makes it even worse, bro. He's going to sit at the bottom of the horror. This guy was a definition of a bozo. How many mistakes he made in an Arsenal shirt. Horror. The less said about Shkodran Mustafi, the better. Wenger, what were you thinking, bro? This was so bad. Honestly, he's one of the main culprits of Arsenal's banter era. He's one of the main culprits as to why we used to lose so many games. Shkodran Mustafi, yeah, horror. Easily horror. Now, moving on to the complete opposite of Shkodran Mustafi, Alexis Sanchez. What a flipping footballer. This guy changed my life. We signed him from Barcelona for around £35 million. And that was one of the best £35 million spent at Arsenal. This guy was one of the best players in the league. Iconic. And does he go in legend? Because has he won enough trophies for Arsenal? I'm going to put Alexis Sanchez as an Arsenal legend. I think the performances he put in for us, the amount of clutch goals he scored for us, the seasons in terms of consistency, being our main man. There was a season where he scored 24 goals, 10 assists in the Premier League alone. Are you insane? He was being compared to the likes of Hazard, who people regard as one of the greatest players of our generation. Alexis Sanchez is up there. Obviously, his time at Manchester United didn't work out. But for me, Alexis Sanchez was a revelation at Arsenal and won us so many games himself. World-class player, had everything in his locker. Easily, man. Easily an Arsenal legend, in my opinion. But borderline world class, actually. I don't think it's that easy, but I'm going to put him legend because of my personal admiration for it. Now, moving on to Granit Xhaka. We signed him for £34 million. Honestly, he was good. He was very, very good, actually. But his career at Arsenal didn't start good. He almost got phased out. He was hated by the fans. He hated the fans. It was really toxic. But then Arteta joined, persuaded him to stay. And he was one of the most integral players as to why Arsenal was so good in that 22-23 season. He played a more attacking role, scored more goals, created more chances. His link up down that left-hand side, instead of being played in number 6, it was played as a number 8, linking up with Gabriel Martinelli, linking up with Gabriel Jesus, scoring goals, captaining this Arsenal side. Well, he wasn't technically the captain, but in my eyes, he was one of the captains of the squad and was actually unbelievable for us that season. World-class borderline. And then he joined Bayer Leverkusen and won them the Invincibles, won the Bundesliga with them, and now he's just regarded as a world-class midfielder, one of the best midfielders of our generation, if I'm being honest with you. Not one of the best, but he's up there. He's mingling around with some really good players in that sense. When it comes to ability, Granit Xhaka was unbelievable, and he genuinely one of the biggest remontadas of a career at Arsenal. I'm going to put Granit Xhaka at the top of very good because of that because of his last season at Arsenal, I thought he was unbelievable. Got us £20 million back as well. Was world class after that. I'm going to put Granit Xhaka as very good. Now, Riccardo Calafiori, this guy, unbelievable footballer. The season he's having so far, he's staying fit. You can see what value he provides us. You can see why everyone wanted to sign him. You can see why we signed him for around £45 million from Bologna. What a footballer, can play centre half. Is an absolute maverick of a player. You see him picking up the ball at left back, then he's inverting, then he's overlapping, then you see him in a number 10 licking off shots like he's a striker. Then you see him on the right wing. Bro, this guy can do everything. Am I going to put him world class? I don't think he's world class. I think Calafiori is a very good player, but I don't think he's world class. I'm going to put him at the top of very good. He can become world class, still very young. If he does win some trophies with Arsenal, can always become a legend. But yeah, I'm going to put Calafiori very good. Now, this one, I didn't realise he was in the list. This one, it gets a little bit controversial because this guy, he has some allegations around him. I'm just going to skip him, but he was pretty good for us. I'm not going to lie to you. He was pretty good for us. But yeah, the less said, the better, even though he was good for us. Andre Arshavin, this one's a throwback. This one was when I was younger, growing up, watching him. Very exciting player. From what I remember, every time he pulled up some of the greatest moments in Arsenal history when it comes to the 4 goals at Anfield, the goal against Barcelona that erupted the Emirates. Andre Arshavin was a very fun player, but I know he lacked disciplinary issues. He didn't really have a great work ethic. He was not consistent at all for Arsenal. So I'm going to put him as decent, but bottom of decent. But he was a very exciting player. We signed him for around £15 million. Good player, man. Pretty good player. Now, moving on to Noni Madueke, we signed him for £50 million from Chelsea. Everyone was losing their mind saying, why are we giving Chelsea £50 million for a player who isn't the greatest for them? It's probably one of their better wingers, but Chelsea aren't great themselves. Noni Madueke joined Arsenal and looked absolutely unbelievable before he got injured. And I genuinely think Noni Madueke will go on to be a very good sign. That £50 million is going to look very well spent. Arteta really wanted him for a reason. So I'm going to put Noni Madueke, I'm going to put him very good. I'm going to put him around in the middle of very good. I think Noni Madueke, he can easily become world class if he does get enough game time. If we see more goals from him, if we see more assists, more in product from him. And yeah, easily can, still very young and a really exciting footballer. So I'm going to put him in a very good category. Moving on to Ben White. We signed him for £50 million from Brighton. Everyone was losing their minds thinking, why are we signing this Brighton centre-back for £50 million? Well, he didn't really play centre back for us. Well, he did in the first season. But in the second season, he got transitioned into a right back, and honestly, was absolutely unbelievable. His link up with Bukayo Saka down that right hand side. Who would have thought he was a bombing up and down right back, right? His better trait is him going forward than it is actually defending. He started off as a centre back, which is kind of crazy. But I think Ben White, very good signing. I don't think he's world class. I don't think he's the bottom of very good. Has injuries, he's been suffering injuries for the past year. But then again, I think it was last season when Jurgen Timber suffered an ACL. He came in clutch when it came to just playing every game with an injury. So he's easing himself in, but Jurgen Timber has kind of overshadowed him a little bit. But Ben White, still a very good signing. £50 million, very well spent. Very well respected player at that. This middle tier is getting very long right now, so we might have to start moving some players, if I'm being honest with you. Honestly, I'm gonna have to put Tierney here, man. I can't lie to you. I think I was being too nice there. But yeah. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Wow, what a striker! This guy won 2 Golden Boots with us, or was it 1 Golden Boot? I know he shared one with Sadio. He won 2, I'm pretty sure. Aubameyang, when he joined us, questioned why we signed him, to be honest with you, because we already had Alexander Lacazette and we spent £50 million on him, and then we spent another £60 million on another striker, even though we don't play with 2 strikers. Kind of crazy. But Aubameyang found himself joining Arsenal from Dortmund for around £60 million. Wow, this guy was so good for us. Oh my god. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was easily world class, one of our best players in recent years. The performances he put in an Arsenal shirt, wow. What the goals he scored, wow. The amount of times he came clutch. Remember I said earlier, Burnley on him were the reason why Arsenal didn't get relegated. I am not joking. Aubameyang was world class for us, came in clutch. During our banter area, easily just won us the FA Cup by himself, scoring a brace in the semi-final, scoring a brace in the final. I have so much praise for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Obviously, he didn't end the grace. He signed the thing. Form dipped. I don't know what happened. But my memories of Aubameyang, easily a world-class player. Honestly, I'm going to put him above Ødegaard and David Raya for this because what a striker, man. What a striker. Didn't win enough trophies for Arsenal, though, but he was very good. Now, Gyokeres for £60 million, or 55 to £60 million. So far, it hasn't been the greatest. So far, he's been decent. So I'm going to rank him on how he's been for Arsenal so far, which is decent. He's a decent player for Arsenal. I need to see a little bit more from him, if I'm being honest with you. 3 goals in 10 games isn't the greatest return for a player who just got 100 in 100 or 90 in 100. So I'm going to put him in decent for now, but he can easily become very good. He can easily become world class. He can easily become an Arsenal legend, depending on how the season goes. But I'm only going to base from what I've seen so far, and he's been decent. Now, Leandro Trossard for £21 million, I believe it was. Our plan B for Mudryk. See how that turned out, eh? But Leandro Trossard, what a flipping footballer. In terms of just footballing ability alone, he is a special footballer. If Leandro Trossard had pace, he'd be world class. He'd be one of the best wingers in the world. But unfortunately, he doesn't. But he came in clutch with so many clutch goals. In his first season, just came off the bench and scored almost every time. Last season, scored a lot of goals. Honestly, I'm going to put Leandro Trossard as very good. And now we have added another player to the very good category. But Leandro Trossard, man, what a special player. I'm actually going to put him close to the top of very good. Actually, I think I'm going to put him below Santi Cazorla. But came in clutch with a lot of goals, scored a lot of goals, created a lot of goals, came in clutch. I'm thinking of that game against in the Champions League against Bayern Munich where he scored a special goal. Honestly, a really good player overall. Martin Zubimendi, I think he's been very good for Arsenal so far. I think he's been unbelievable. Obviously, I can base it from how he's played so far, and I think he's been so integral in this system that we have so far. Very good replacement for Thomas Partey. But yeah, Martin Zubimendi, very good player. Kai Havertz, honestly, I'm going to have to put him very good as well. A lot of people scrutinise the signing of Kai Havertz. Why did we sign this donkey for £65 million from Chelsea? He started off terribly, if I'm being honest with you. It was really hard to support him, but he was so integral in that title challenge, in that 23-24 season, scored so many goals, almost got 20 goals for us that season. Last season, he was on track to scoring 20, but then he suffered injury for half the season. This season started the season with an injury as well, but Kai Havertz has been very good, and we are missing him right now, if I'm being honest with you. I miss him right now. But yeah, very good signing from Arsenal. Nicolas Pepe, he was decent. I don't care what anyone says. We signed him for crazy money, yeah. £72 million from Lille. It didn't work out in the beginning. He went 007, scored a penalty to break it. But honestly, he was actually a really good player. He was really integral in that FA Cup win. Performances-wise, lacked a bit of consistency, lacked a bit of work rate. Wasn't really an Arteta winger, but he had special moments. He was a special player. He could have been something special. And I know he's resurrecting his career a little bit at Villarreal, so hopefully that goes well. I have very fond memories of Nicolas Pepe. When you look at his numbers, he was actually pretty decent. If we signed Pepe for around £30 to £40 million, everyone will look at this as a very good signing. But because of his price tag, it did hold him back. And I think he did mention that in an interview, that price tag actually ruined his confidence. So, yeah. Moving on to Eberechi Eze, big price tag, £68 million. I'm going to put him at the bottom of very good. I think he's had really clutch moments. For example, the game against Manchester City practically won us that point with that ball in behind for Gabriel Martinelli. I think he's had some decent performances. Hasn't had the craziest amount of game time. I don't think he's been absolutely amazing. He's borderline decent, if I'm being honest with you. But I do think he can go on to become top of very good, can become world class, can become an Arsenal legend. Obviously, the signing itself is legendary. Let's see if he can put the performances to match with it. Now, Hincapié, haven't seen anything of him, so I'm going to put him decent for now. Obviously, that can increase, but obviously suffered from injuries. And that ranks the tier list. I think I'm going to put... Let's just leave Thomas Partey. But if I was to put Partey somewhere, it probably would be very good or maybe world class. I'll put him very good. But this is my tier list. Let me know down below if you agree with my tier list in the comment section. Let me know if I waffled. Let me know if I spat facts. Let me know who you would change. If you might put Mesut Ozil at very good or legend. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm actually quite happy with this list. Remember, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you drop a like. If you want to see more tier lists like this, yeah, let me know down below in the comments. And remember, we're so close to 100 subscribers. We're so close to 10,000 subscribers. And let's try and get 150 likes. It helps a boy out. And I'll see you in the next video.